Hi FlossTube friends, this is Tina Frazier coming to you from Columbus, Ohio. Today is Saturday, January 11th at approximately 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'm coming to you today with a FlossTube update. This is my channel here on YouTube, where I talk about my love of cross stitch, my love of crafting, and some other things thrown in, and other hobbies that I enjoy. And if you're new here, thank you very much for stopping by. I always like meeting new friends, and you're no different. So sit back, relax, grab yourself something to drink, a snack, or something to stitch, or whatever you want to work on, and sit back and enjoy. Hopefully you'll find something here that will encourage you or enable you to maybe start a new craft, or to get inspiration for something that you want to try for the new year. If you're a returning watcher, thank you very much for stopping back by. My friends here on YouTube are really important to me and really special, so thank you again for stopping back by. And if you're a subscriber, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate those of you that have subscribed to my channel, and hopefully if you haven't yet subscribed, you will find something here that will pique your interest enough that you will subscribe. And I do encourage you that if you have not yet done so, to click the subscription button below and also click the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload new content. See, here on my channel, I have been trying to upload videos about every other week or so, and it hasn't been working. My goal in 2024 was to upload videos every 2 weeks or so. And I think I'm gonna relax that a little bit for 2025 and just record videos and upload them here on YouTube when I can. So if you are interested in getting notifications when I do upload the content this year, please be sure to click the notification bell. I really appreciate it. And just thank you again for being a subscriber. My hair is a little it looks like it's not brushed. I also am showing my gray because I have not dyed my hair in a couple of months. I'm way past due. I'm also due for a haircut. It's been probably 6 to 8 weeks since I've had a haircut, so I'm also due for a New Year haircut. So tonight I am in my craft room. A little different thing for you. I just didn't feel like dragging all my stuff downstairs to film at my desk, so I am using my tablet and sitting in my craft room. So welcome to, oh, this is 2025, not 2024. It's 2025, episode 1, 2025, January 2025. So welcome to the new year, you guys. I hope you guys have had a new year, a happy new year. We have had a good one so far. It's been an interesting year, and there's all kinds of stuff happening in real life. So right now I'm just going to kind of get into some real life updates. The biggest news that many of you have probably already heard about, out in Southern California, they are being devastated by wildfires. Some of the most devastating wildfires that they have ever had. It's crazy dry out there right now, and they have a very high lack of humidity and lack of precipitation that is fueling the drier conditions that are providing the fuel for these fires. And it's just crazy, the devastation. I grew up in Southern California, if you didn't know that. I graduated from high school back in 1989 and then went to Wyoming for college at the University of Wyoming. So I actually left the state of California to go to Wyoming for college back in 1989, 1990. And in 1992, I moved to Ohio. So I've been living in Ohio since 1992. But family and friends still live out in Southern California. All my high school friends are still living out there. It's crazy. And there's new evacuation orders being given almost every hour on the hour in various locations around Southern California. The whole situation out there is just really scary. It's just really been devastating. Um, and it's really hard to watch. I've been watching news coverage, live news coverage from Southern California news stations all week, and it's just devastating. Nobody, I mean, there's nothing that anybody can really do. It's just crazy. It's crazy out there. So hopefully, if you have the means and if you have the necessity, whatever prayer or assistance you can think to give, please consider doing so. If you can, please keep everybody out there in your prayers. It is horrible what's going on out there, and it's gonna probably get worse before it gets any better out there until they start getting some rain. They're lacking rain and moisture, and so yeah, just please keep everybody in Southern California out there in your prayers and thoughts, and do things that you can, do some of the things that you can help where you're located if you can. Anyway, so a little side note, more local news. Those of you that have been watching my channel for the last couple of years since we were on lockdown with the pandemic in 2020 know that I have been working on a hybrid work from home schedule since the pandemic. During the pandemic lockdown, we were completely work from home. And I think it was 2021, we went back to a hybrid, working in the office 3 days a week and working at home 2 days a week, when they lifted a lot of the pandemic restrictions for us. We went to a 3-day in the office, 2-day at home hybrid work schedule. And we've been enjoying it. It's been great. The work-life balance has been really great. Being able to, not have to be required to sit in an office 8 hours a day has been really great. We've been really productive. We've kept all our goals going. We've kept the workload is getting done. Everything's getting done. Half of our team lives and works in Mumbai, India. So we already have to do a lot of our meetings and everything on Zoom. And I work at a big bank, a big international bank. And you may have deduced by now which bank that happens to be, but I've been with the company over 25 years. I've been with the bank quite a chunk of time, and so the powers that be in our company have decided that as of March, they want everybody back in the office full time, 5 days a week. And there's a good majority of the company that isn't really happy about that. I'm one of them. I don't see a reason why we're in the office at all. The nature of the job that my teammates and I do, we're QA analysts, so we look at the credit bureau disputes that the specialists, the hourly specialists that process the disputes, we look at the work that they process to make sure everything that they processed and reported back to the bureaus is correct. So we kind of quality check the work that's being done. After the pandemic and after the lockdown was lifted, they were given the option to work from home completely because they're on productivity measurements that they can track their quality and how much work they're getting done. We are salaried, but we are also on productivity measurements where they can track our quality and how much work we're getting done. We're on those same measurements. We have not been allowed to work from home completely. So not only are we working from home hybrid 2 days out of our 5 days a week, those 2 days that we are not in the office, somebody else is sharing our desk with us. So not only did we have to adjust for that, we have had to take everything home with us from our desks that we used to keep locked up because we no longer were going to have the ability to keep things locked and separated. And they asked us to take everything off of our desks and take everything home. So now every day we have to carry in everything that we need for the day and then carry it home with us at night. So that means we can't leave coffee cups in there. We can't leave water jugs. We can't leave snacks, we can't leave notebooks, we can't leave headsets for Zoom calls, we can't leave anything on our desk that is personal, which really kind of sucks. It makes it really sterile. And it's just a royal pain in the butt. So they announced that in early December that we were sharing desks. It started technically January 2nd, even though that was a Thursday and Friday. My team is work from home Thursdays and Fridays. So we came in on the 6th, Monday, January 6th, to the potential of somebody already having sat at our desk for 2 days. So we came in January 6th, kind of not really knowing what we would find and what we would see. It's gonna pose a lot of issues because we don't know if those people are like us and sit at their desk and work during lunch and eat at their desk. We don't, in the little tech building that we are at, we actually don't have a full-fledged cafeteria. So we actually have to walk about a half a mile across the parking lot of our campus to get to the cafeteria in the main building and then get our food and walk all the way back. We don't have tunnels. It's been snowing. It's been cold. So yeah. Anyway, it's just the whole situation of all that. So we don't know for sure. This week, a rumor had started Tuesday that there were a couple of posts online, like Forbes.com or something had mentioned that our company was mandating that everybody come back to the office 5 days a week starting in March. And we hadn't heard that from management as of yet. This was on the internet. So anyway, Thursday afternoon, we actually got the internal email that yes, indeed, they were bringing everybody back to the office full time starting in March. I don't know how this is going to work for us because we are currently in a shared desk situation, and according to everything that we've been privy to, we will be sharing desks until we move back to the main building in sometime in 2026. So based on that fact, and just knowing some of the other locations that are also sharing desks, because there are not enough desks for everybody to have a desk 5 days a week, we don't know how that's going to work. We don't know if they're going to kind of let us continue hybrid work schedule for the rest of the year until they get everything figured out. We have no idea what's going on. And there's a lot of really upset people. I'm kind of one of them. So as of right now, it's still kind of business as usual. We're keeping our hybrid schedule, but we don't know where this is going to lead, being required to be back in the office. Anyway, so thank you very much for letting me vent, and thank you very much for letting me talk about the wildfires in California and all of that. So we're going to get into some cross-stitch stuff now. So today's video, I'm going to share with you just a little bit of haul. I'm going to give a 2024 wrap-up, including some comparison between 2024 and 2023 stitching. And I'm also going to share with you some 2025 plans, including some epiphanies that I've had for my stitching for 2025. I also have some industry news for you. You may have already seen or heard this either in Facebook or on social media or in other groups and other channels that you have watched. But one of the biggest things, those of you that may be fans of Brooke's books, patterns, she makes all those little angels and stuff on perforated paper, and everybody loves her pattern. She's well known throughout the cross-stitch industry. She has been fighting cancer for the last several years, I think at least 6 years. And she took some time away from designing and publishing towards the end of 2023 into 2024. And she was starting to make a comeback and doing really good. We received some rather sad news towards the end of December. between Christmas and New Year. Her husband had posted and put her Brooks Books Etsy shop on hold. He had suspended ordering capabilities on her Etsy website for patterns and such, because Brooke Nolan, the designer behind Brooks Books Publishing, and all the wonderful designs and patterns that people have grown to love over the last many years in the cross-stitch industry, lost her battle with cancer at the beginning in early December. And because of some legal business dealings, her husband is unable to keep the business going, so he has had to suspend business operation of Brooks Books. So that being said, it was kind of devastating news to hear, because everybody was hoping that maybe he could find a way to maybe keep the store going and just offer PDFs as opposed to physical copies and kits and whatnot that Brooke used to have available to her customers, and keep the company going. I don't know if the family is really ready for that and ready to do that, and I don't know what the legalities are, because he was not named. Unfortunately, he does not have the legal ability. The way that the company was created, he doesn't have the legal ability to continue to allow the company to exist. He is being required to close the company as far as he knows. So anyway, Brooks Books patterns, unless you can find them online, or you can go to the website and get the freebies. I looked earlier in the week, and the freebies were still up on Brooks Books publishing site, not the Etsy site. The freebies were still up there, so you could still get the Advent Animal freebies and some of the other freebies that she's had up there. So I haven't looked at the website this week to know if it's been shut down yet, but the Etsy website, you can no longer order patterns or kits from the Etsy website. It has been shut down for new orders. The husband said that he is in the process of trying to scramble together the kits and everything to send out for the orders that are pending. So if you have a pending order from Brooks Books, please give it some time. It could take a little while to get everything sorted out, so just give it some time. Offer up their family in prayer. I'm sure this is a tough loss for them, just as it is for everybody in the cross-stitch community. And just please be patient and do what you can to not share the patterns that you may own, because they're still under copyright, and it's not cool if if you put up the patterns on the internet for other people to get of the stuff that you've purchased of hers. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So I'd like you to keep the family of Brooke Nolan, the designer and mastermind behind Brooks Books Publishing. Keep her family and keep the cross-stitch community and the followers that she has in your prayers, because it was a great loss to the community when she passed in early December. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, so I do have quite a few Brooks Books things in my stash, and over the next few months, I'm going to be digging through all the plethora of magazine issues that I have to see what Brooks Books patterns I do own. And I'm going to be trying to acquire some of the Brooks Books patterns that are out there currently, maybe on eBay or something. Because I do like Brooks Books patterns, and there's quite a few of them that I have been hoping to get that I should have actually went out and bought, since summer of last year that I was looking at, but I haven't yet. So we don't know if Brooks Books is going to continue being available, so just bear that in mind. Don't have anything else like new and earth-shattering and to update you on as far as that goes, but yes. So let's go ahead and get into 2024 stats. So I keep a life planner. This is my life planner. I use the Law of Attraction planner. This is my life planner where I keep track of everything that goes on in my week. I keep track of things I'm working on at work, events. When I read, stitch, play video games, play board games, do all kinds of things, geocache, workout, whatever. I have these weekly trackers that I keep track of. This goes with me to and from work every day. I also have tracking in the backs of my planners for books that I read. I didn't read very many books in 2024, which is really sad. I also have trackers for cross stitch. So, for an example, here is my 2024 WIPGO board. My WIPGO board, I didn't fill this one in nearly as much as I should have. Because my WIPGO board is a little more full than the colors allow you to believe. I did not finish WIPGO. I did not get a blackout in 2024. But I also keep track of the projects, the cross-stitch projects that I work on, and what months I work on them, and how many stitches I put in my projects. So, I am going over my 2024 stats with you right now. I have some notes. I went back through my 2023 stat video that I posted in February of 2024 to get some of the 2023 stats for you so I could compare 2023 with 2024. So let me get my second set of eyeballs on. These are just additional clip-on little flip-up magnifiers. It makes reading a little bit clearer for me. I can read pretty good with just the glasses, but these are mainly reading glasses. All right, so in 2023, I wrote down some numbers. So on WIPGO in 2023, I had one bingo. And I'm looking at my WIPGO board for 2024. And I am not seeing a bingo. I don't have my paper WIPGO board, but I am not seeing a bingo on my 2024 WIPGO board. I had no bingo in 2024. The wheels kind of fell off my bus, my WIPGO bus. So I didn't finish WIPGO. I worked on a good chunk of the projects, but anyway. So for 2025, my goal is to actually get as close to a blackout as I can. I'd like to get 5. We're going to try for 5 bingos on WIPGO this year, but I'd ideally like to get a blackout. So in 2024, it was also the first year that I did prompts type stitching as opposed to picking a specific project for each one. I did put prompts, and I had each prompt as a 500 stitch goal. In 2023, it was like 1,000 stitch goals, and part of the way through 2023, I decided that 1,000 stitches was a lot for me to get, so I bumped it down to 500, and I thought that was working really good, so I kept it for 500 stitches in 2024, and I still didn't meet my goal. So my WIPGO for 2025 is to get 5 bingos, a minimum of 5 bingos. Ideally, I'd like a blackout. All right. So anyway, 2024, I didn't have. In 2023, I had 1 bingo. In 2024, I didn't have any bingos. In 2023, I had 9 squares unfinished on my WIPGO board. In 2024, I had over half of them unfinished. In 2023, I stitched a grand total of 31,457 stitches for 2024. Or 2023. That was my total, 2023. 31,457 stitches. In 2024, I had a meager 17,786 stitches. I stitched a hell of a lot more in 2023 than I did in 2024. A lot of that, I came to a reflection. One of the epiphanies that I had was that in 2024, I was spending an awful lot of damn time tracking challenges and what I was stitching for challenges, as opposed to stitching for those challenges. So I was spending an hour or two every night, putting in challenges and what I had to stitch and everything like that I really wasn't stitching a whole lot. So in October, November, and December, early part of December, I was doing planning for 2025, and I had all these Facebook challenge groups that I was going to be stitching for. I probably had 30 different challenges, 30 or 40 different challenges that I was actively going to be stitching for the beginning of December. When I was going through the numbers and realizing how much less I had actually stitched in 2024 compared to 2023, and I realized that a lot of that had to do with trying to track for all of those stitching challenges, that I was going to make some changes for 2025. I was going to reduce the number of stitching challenges that I am in. In November, the Facebook challenge group WIP Warriors, WIP is WIP, it stands for Work in Progress. WIP Warriors opened up their registration, and this was the first time that I was kind of following it when they opened registration. So I jumped in and registered for another Facebook challenge group. It is a stitching challenge group where every month you have different activities that you're supposed to stitch on specific prompts for, to get points or to travel to different places and stuff. You use your stitching to, the amount you stitch on projects to get to places or to do certain things or to get certain points or certain prizes or certain goals, meet certain goals for the stitching events. That's what the general idea of Facebook challenge groups are. And WIP Warriors was another one that I signed up for after, kind of while in the process of determining that, I wasn't getting enough stitching done by trying to track all these different challenge groups. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take these off because they're driving me insane. Anyway, I have since in the last couple of days started re-going through all the challenge groups and all the events that I had posted for end of December, early January, and deleted some of my posts and have decided to way cut back. So WIP Warriors, I have since left the group again, because I have determined that is just one more group that I don't want to have to track stuff for. And I think I'm getting more into, I kind of want to stitch what I want, when I want, and for how long I want, no matter what that is. And hopefully I'll get to 30,000 stitches again when I only had 17,000 stitches done in 2024. So for 2024, I had worked on 34 projects for those 17,786 stitches. I had 9 new starts in 2024, and 2 finishes. One of those was a start and a finish. So I finished 2. I had 9 new starts. So in 2024, I worked on 34 projects, 9 of which were new starts, and 1 of them was a start and a finish. And I only finished 2. Let's see. So in January of 2024, I had the most amount of stitches and projects stitched. I had 12 projects stitched in January 2024 for 2,690 stitches. That was the most amount of stitches that I put in for a month. The least amount of stitches I put in any month in 2024 was for June. I worked on 1 project in June for a total of 531 stitches. Yeah, that was a really slow year, or slow month, really super slow. So the piece that I worked on the most for the most months. The piece that I worked on for the most amount of stitches was Liberty Bowl Fillers. I actually have that here. This was the start and the finish that I had for 2024. This is Liberty Bowl Fillers, if you remember this. This was in Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. This is a Barbara Anna design. And I stitched these together on one. I'm going to turn them into a little pillow for a double. So I still have to fully finish it. That is one of my goals coming up in the next month or two, is to get this fully finished. I have the backing fabric I'm going to use. I think it's a patriotic fabric, but I'd love to get this fully finished. That I put in 2,049 stitches to start and finish it. I started it January 11th of last year, and I finished it September 8th. So that was the only start and finish that I had for 2024. The least amount of stitching I did on a project was the Amid Amish Life. You probably remember seeing that piece. That is from a Cross Stitch and Country Crafts 1987 issue magazine. It was put in 3 parts. It's a 3-parter. You can get a leaflet now that's separate, but that was the one I had the least amount of stitches. I only stitched on it 1 month for 104 stitches. So that was the least amount of stitching I had. Most projects I worked on for 1 month. Some of them I worked on for 2 or 3 months, but most of the projects that I touched in 1 month, and that was it. Hopefully I'll be able to get more stitching done. So the most stitches I had was in January, 12 projects with 2,690 stitches. The least amount of stitching I did was in June, 1 project for 531 stitches. And yeah, so in 2023, I stitched on 34 projects. So the number of my projects was about the same. I stitched on 34 projects also in 2024. I had 10 finishes and 12 new starts. My best month was January. My worst month was April. And my stained glass Hello Kitty piece had the most stitches in 2023. So, so interesting. I finished more in 2023, and I don't think I didn't put down how many I started. Oh, 12 new starts. I had more new starts and more finishes in 23 than I did in 24. So anyway, 2025, I'm really hoping to increase that number. So just to show you one of the things, here is a tracking sheet. Let me pull these off because you don't need to see those. Those are just notes that I made. I have this generalized tracking sheet that I have. I write down what project I work on and how many stitches I have. And you can see I've already got pretty much this entire week I have not stitched. My last day of stitching was the 5th, Sunday the 5th. And I worked on Jackalope and Tapestry for 140 stitches. I had a new start on January 2nd. It was Be the Good. I'll be showing you that. And so far I've touched 4 projects so far for 2025. And I am behind. So I did buy in 2023 and 2024, I did buy the 24 hours of cross stitch planner, and also the Creatively Crafting cross stitch planner for the tracking sheets. But I came up with my own weekly kind of tracking sheet in Excel this year because I wanted better space to track my stitching. So this is what my first week in January stitching looks like, and the stitching, these are the challenge trackers that I came up with. So I put in how many stitches I have, what project I'm working on for the evening, what challenge group it's for, how many stitches I'm required to stitch, how many stitches I stitched, and whether or not I posted my progress in the thing. So this was the thing that was taking up the most time for me in 2024. Again, you can see I started doing this again. So I'm doing this again in 2025, and I've kind of pared it down a lot because there's a couple of things that I am doing. So now we're going to kind of talk about 2025 plans and stitching for January. So my WIPGO board, this is my 2025 WIPGO board. And my WIPGO board, I kind of nailed it down. You can see has prompts on it again. And I'm going to be going, once the squares are picked, I will be picking the project that goes for each prompt. So the January numbers or squares was square number 11, which is a new start. I did start the new start on January 2nd. It's called Be the Good by Amy Brooken Designs. And then the second square is square 20, which is a project in the current season or winter. And that is going to be another new start that I'm going to be showing you. I signed up for a stitch along with BDL XXX Stitch. They had 2 Santa patterns that we could choose, and I chose the pattern called Shh. And I will be starting that as well for my second square in January. There's both of them have 500 stitch counts goals. And for the Be the Good, I have already stitched 200, just over 200 stitches on that one as well. So I have about 300 stitches left to complete for that for the month. And one of the other stitching groups that I'm in called Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge. Magazine Monthly Challenge Group, I believe is the actual name of it. In January every year, they do a game called Bingo. So you create bingo board. They have 25 different prompts. So you fill the bingo board with the prompts, and for each prompt, you pick a project. You assign a project and a goal to stitch for those projects. So this is my Bingo board, and you can see I've already done 5 squares. I have 4 projects, 5 squares are done. So I've done one of those projects twice, which is why I have 200 stitches in it, because each of my goals for these squares are 100 stitches. So every day of the month, the 1st through the 25th, Carolyn Zook from C Zook Stitch, she is the creator mastermind behind the Magazine Monthly Challenge group on Facebook. She will pick a number which will designate, you go to that square, and that square will tell you what piece you are stitching for. And I have the projects picked out. So you can see these 4 blue ones are the ones that I've completed, and the squares that are outlined I have not yet completed. So I have a little bit of catching up to do, which should be all right because there's 2 pieces in here that have already been called twice. So if I take a good night and stitch 200 on those, I can knock out 2 squares. So the 1st through the 25th, she calls out the numbers. Then from the 26th to the 31st of January, you can catch up. The whole goal is to get a blackout on this. I think I only have about 10 different patterns. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have about 10 different patterns on here that are multiple times. So I am hoping to get, some of these are going to be called 3 times or more. A couple of them only going to be called once. So I'm hoping to get at least 100 stitches on 10 of these. Oh, but I'm hoping to fill up the Bingo board this month. So that is one of the challenge groups. Also in the Magazine Monthly Challenge group, she does a theme every month and an acrostic. So this month's theme is Countdown. I have not yet picked a piece for the theme for Countdown. The acrostic is Timer. So I have picked I have picked my pieces for that, and I have stitched at least 2 of them. And the other 3 are pieces on my Baringo board, so I can easily do that. So since I'm already stitching the Baringo board, I am going to be doing the acrostics for the Magazine Monthly Challenge. She's also doing something new this year, the anagrams. I don't know if I'll be doing the anagrams, but you take the word countdown and you find words, you make words out of the letters in the word countdown, and then you pick a project for that letter, that word, and you stitch on it. I don't know if I'm going to be doing the anagrams at all, but this month I'm at least doing the magazine theme and acrostic. Siski Stitches is another Facebook challenge group that I came across. Siski is a stitcher who has a YouTube channel called Siski Stitches on YouTube. And she has kind of created a group where you can follow along with all her games and stuff that she uses to make progress on all her reports on her projects. And she does a weekly thing. So tomorrow at about 5 p.m. Eastern time or so, the acrostic for this week is Reward. The acrostic this week ends about 6 o'clock my time tomorrow, and then the new one starts. So the new one for next week is Cottage. I haven't yet picked out anything for this week, and I haven't picked out anything for that next week, because this is one of those things that I'm not sure I'm stitching for this week. And again, here is this upcoming week's stitching tracker. So hopefully this will get filled in. 24 hours of cross stitch Facebook group. 24 hours of cross stitch got started because a couple of ladies decided that they wanted to have a challenge, and they wanted to start on Friday morning and stitch for 24 hours straight, no breaks. So they decided that they were going to pick a weekend and do the 24 hours of cross stitch challenge, and they created a Facebook group. Well, the Facebook group grew, the challenge grew, and many people decided to do the same challenge the same weekend. So now it's a big Facebook group. They have a couple of different challenges throughout the year. And once a quarter, they have a weekend called the 24 Hours of Cross Stitch Marathon Weekend, where it starts, I think, officially on a Thursday night and runs until Sunday. And the goal with the weekend is to stitch 24 hours of stitching. You have 24 hours of stitching to get done in that amount of time from Thursday to Sunday. You can choose to do complete 24 hours straight. You can do it 6 and 6 and 6, however much you can do at a time, up to 24 hours. And they have an acrostic as well. Because I bought the 24 hours of cross stitch planner, I get access to the acrostics for the entire year. So this month's acrostic is Adventure Now. The theme behind this year's cross stitch planner from the 24 hours of cross stitch is Choose Your Own Cross Stitch Adventure. So the theme is going to be kind of adventure related. And as you can see, I have filled in some of these. I wasn't really active in completing these last year either, so I don't know how active I'm going to be in completing all of them for this year. Then there's the Fun with Cross Stitch Facebook group. The Fun with Cross Stitch Facebook group also has an acrostic. And this month's acrostic is Happy New Year. As you can see, I haven't filled any of that out either. Each letter is 200 stitches or 2 hours per letter, with 300 stitches or 3 hours as an alternate. You can use the chart name, designer, an object in the design, or an actual letter in the design if it's a sampler. So you have Happy New Year. And your whole goal is to pick a piece that fits the letter and set a goal. So I don't know if I'll be doing that. So I'm kind of going to be picking and choosing. A couple of the other pieces or groups, I'm obviously doing WIPGO. That is by Jessie Marie Destuff. It is the yearly bingo board where she pulls 2 numbers every year or every month, unless she pulls square 13, which is usually a free space for people. So when she pulls square 13, she'll pick a third. But that is the monthly focus, so I'm kind of going to be definitely focusing on that this year. I'm going to be doing Magazine Monthly Challenge. There is also a group called International Hermit and Stitch Weekend, so kind of coinciding with the 24 hours of cross-stitch marathons once a quarter. The third weekend of every month is International Hermit and Stitch Weekend. The idea behind that is to start on a Thursday or Friday and just focus on stitching all weekend. Stay in your pajamas, get a bunch of snacks, get a bunch of stuff, and just focus on your stitching all weekend. That is the premise behind that. They don't really have any events or any challenges that I do on a monthly basis. Anyway, so I am doing the BDL XXX stitch along for 2024. Let me, okay. So for the BDL XXX Stitch Emporium Stitch Along, we have a choice between 2 patterns. The pattern that I am doing is called Shh, and it's a very cute winter pattern. Both of them are Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus, and it depends on which one you wanted to pick. You got to pick. So this is the one that I chose. It's called Shh. Very cute. Very cute pattern. It's 300 by 280, and I have spent the last couple of days kitting up the floss for the pattern. So for part of Baringo, this is on my Baringo board. This is also my WIPGO, my second WIPGO square for a new start, is going to be this one. So I spent some time kitting up. It looks kind of a mess right now, but it won't be when I start stitching on it. These are the floss colors. I have 4 floss cards. I have 4 floss cards with the 170 colors for the kit. Kitted up. I have spent the last 3 days getting the flosses kitted up for this. So I have the floss kitted up. And as part of haul, I also have my order. I have a this is a Zweigart fabric. I got this from Dying for Cross Stitch, DYEING. This is 32 count, easy count fabric. I got the biggest piece I could get, and I'm going to be stitching this full coverage pattern on the 32 count cross stitch pattern. It's going to be roughly, the piece that I have to cut is going to be roughly 15 by 15. So sometime this weekend I will be cutting the fabric and getting actually started on this for my WIPGO, and hopefully working on this throughout 2024. But anyway, I have all the flosses for the pattern. 170 floss colors, and the stitch count is 300 by 280. So it's essentially square. Looking forward to that. I have it loaded up into Pattern Keeper already, so I will be doing that in Pattern Keeper, and I will be stitching it tent stitch 1/1 on 32 count. So that is that. So I talked about that. Full coverage Fanatics. I am doing a yearly event in full coverage Fanatics called Stitch to the Moon. I am on a team, because you can join a team or you could do it solo. The whole goal is to stitch the amount of kilometers from the Earth to the Moon. It's a lot. It's over 200,000 kilometers. So the whole goal is to do over 200,000 stitches in 2025. And it started January 1st. I will be using the Shh pattern from BDL XXX Stitch as my full coverage pattern for the Stitch to the Moon thing. So I'm hoping to get started on that. I also have been using Aquamarine from Carolyn Manning. That is not it. So I'm working on Carolyn Manning's Aquamarine. So there is where I got to. It's in the upper left corner. So that is my progress that I made. Only 200 stitches. I think. How much did I get on aquamarine? Only 110 stitches on aquamarine so far this month. But I use that for the full coverage Fanatics Stitch to the Moon. So we're stitching the distance of the moon. I am on a team, so I can share the 230 some thousand stitches with my team. I'm also doing a full coverage focus. I think that's a monthly challenge where we pick a full coverage piece. So my full coverage focus piece for the month is going to be the BDL XXX stitch pattern. Full coverage Fanatics, they're also doing the Stitch Zodiac for the year. So whenever the Zodiac is for the year, you stitch either certain colors or certain items or something for that Zodiac thing. Like right now we're in Capricorn, so we're stitching something for Capricorn. Aquarius starts on the 20th and goes until the 31st. So yeah, this month is Capricorn and Aquarius, so I may be doing those. I haven't fully decided if I'm going to commit to those yet or not, so I'm definitely doing the Stitch to the Moon challenge because I have a focus on getting some full coverage stitching done this year. There is also the Just Cross Stitch Ornament Cell. There's a Just Cross Stitch Ornament Cell group where you take 2024's Just Cross Stitch Ornament magazine. So this is the 2024 Just Cross Stitch Ornament magazine, and they have picked one pattern out of every month to stitch. This month's pattern is on page 88 of the booklet, and it is the 'Tis the Season. Do they have this small? Sweet Treats. No. Well, where is it? It is the bonus pattern. Well, there we go. I can't show it. Anyway, this is a pattern by Tracy Richards. So this is the big pattern. We are doing the bonus pattern for January. I'll have to kind of do this for you. We are doing the bonus pattern for January, which is up here. I would like to stitch these and get some of the stitching done for them for the Just Cross Stitch Ornament Stitch Along, because I was going to be doing this in 2024 and I got one of them started and I didn't finish that one and I didn't start any of the other ones. I would like to get more of these started. That is really cute. It's a tiered tray design and it's on page 88. I would like to stitch that. That's just really cute. So I'm hoping to actually get to stitch that. I just don't know when I'm going to start it. So I will be following along with a Just Cross Stitch Ornament Stitch Along this year, hopefully. Oh, that was what it was. The plug had come partially out because it's two plugs that you plug in together and they came unseated. All right, so hopefully that will kind of take care of that. We will move that back that way. I am also in Magical Stitches. Magical Stitches was a Facebook challenge group that started a couple of years ago based on the Harry Potter group of books. I started it a couple of years ago when they were still doing Harry Potter. I'm not a Harry Potter fan, and I refuse to do anything Harry Potter related or buy anything Harry Potter related because I completely disagree with the stances said author has taken, and I totally do not respect the author of Harry Potter. So, anyway, I'm not a Harry Potter fan. I never will be, and I haven't watched the movies, haven't read the books, and I'm not going to at this point in my time. But anyway, Magical Stitches is a Facebook challenge group. Last year, another lady took over the choosing of the genre of books that we were going to read and stitch throughout the year based on prompts for the book. This year, she has chosen the Series of Unfortunate Events set of books by Lemony Snicket. So this month we are reading book 1 and part of book 2. And we are stitching and doing different events stitching different prompts and different things based on that set of books. So it's a series of unfortunate events. I have down here that I am stitching for them, but I don't know that I have necessarily started stitching for any of those events just yet. I am also actively stitching for Fandom Stitching. This year is a Doctor Who and Supernatural kind of theme for the group. I'm not a Doctor Who fan. I haven't seen any Doctor Who things really. And I also, up until mid-December, hadn't seen any Supernatural either. I didn't really know what the premise behind Supernatural was, but I kind of binge watched some of the first Supernatural episodes, and I think I'm gonna kind of like that series of the show series. I think I'm going to kind of like that for watching this year. So I am doing the main yearly event called the Road Traveled because it's kind of a stitch at your own pace thing. And that's kind of where I'm going for my challenges for 2025. It's kind of more of a stitch at your own pace. You know, if you have a piece that you want to work on and it fits something, stitch for it. That's what I'm going to do this year, as opposed to, okay, I have all these challenges. I need to pick a project that can fit most challenges and try and figure out what I'm going to work on based on the challenges. No, I'm going to say, I want to work on this. Does it fit challenges? And then just pick a few challenges for it to go to. So that's what I'm doing this year. Epiphany. I'm going to increase the amount I stitch, decrease the amount I track. So, fandom stitching, we are doing Supernatural and Doctor Who. So I am on the Daleks team for Doctor Who. So I'm doing the monthly prompts to a degree, and also the Road Traveled, which is the annual year-long event. Magic Stitchdom is a group that I joined, I think, in 2023, where you actually are building your own amusement park, loosely based on Walt Disney, Disneyland, Disney World, whatever. So there's monthly events, weekly events, pop-up events where you can meet the characters, you can stitch for different things, you can add shops to your park, you can add rides to your park based on the Disney rides. You can add things to your shops, you can stitch for food, you can stitch for the certain events, like, you know, the Lunar New Year. They have a Lunar New Year event. So you can stitch for things to add to your Lunar New Year shops. You can stitch for rides. You can stitch for characters. You can do different things. Watch different movies. Stitch for songs to add to your speaker system of your park. Basically, you're building your own park. So I'm kind of going to be kind of loosely getting into that a little bit more this year. 24 hours of cross stitch weekend. The first quarterly weekend is coming up January 17th through the 19th, which is also International Hermit and Stitch Weekend. It's the 17th through the 19th in January. One of the other groups that I thought about following this year, because I'm also hoping to get more reading done in 2025 than I did in 2024. I hardly read anything in 2024. It is a Facebook group called Crafts and Books. The book they're reading in or listening to in January is The Swiss Family Robinson. I know the general premise of the story, but I have not read the book. I know it's a classic, but I have not read it. So what I may do is at least listen to the book on Audible or find it on Libby or some free library download that I can listen to and just listen to it, so I can at least say that I've done that book. I don't know how active I'm going to be in the stitching challenges, but I think I may be using the Crafts and Books group for some more reading type of book lists. Semi-Sane Stitchers, you have to actually participate in a few of their events every other month or so in order to stay active and to maintain your membership in the group. So I am going to be doing the 2025 yearly goals I had picked 3 projects that I was doing some yearly goals on. And this month I am doing the focus with the BDL XXX stitch pattern. I'm also actively doing the daily cross stitch group and the cross stitch 25/7 group. The daily cross stitch is to stitch 25 stitches, a minimum of 25 stitches every day. Obviously, I haven't done that much this whole month because I haven't stitched since last Sunday. So it's been 6 days since I've stitched. The cross stitch 25/7 group is to stitch. The daily cross stitch group is to stitch every day, and the minimum that they kind of suggest you stitch is 50 stitches. The cross stitch 25/7 group the goal is to stitch a minimum of 25 stitches every day for 7 days. So it's 7 days, 24. It's 25 stitches every day for 7 days. So essentially, it's 25 stitches a day. So daily cross stitch is 50. So my base goal is going to be, because of the daily cross stitch being 50 stitches, my goal for 2025 is a minimum of 50 stitches a day. Considering that most of the other goals for all the other stitching groups is a minimum of 100 stitches, I always aim for 100 stitches a day when I stitch. So a minimum of 100 stitches. Sometimes I get more than that, sometimes I don't stitch. So my whole goal every day when I sit down to stitch is 100 stitches. That's about an hour's worth of stitching for me, so we shall see. I talked about Fun with Cross Stitch, the acrostic. They have two groups, two side groups from the Fun with Cross Stitch group. They have the Safari Stitching, which is completely stitch at your own pace, and the Holiday Stitching, which is traveling around Australia. Interestingly enough, the Whip Warriors group is also traveling across Australia. So, two different groups. Fun with Cross Stitch, it's kind of at your own pace. You stitch when you can, when you want, what you want. And if you can fit it into the event, you fit it into the event. And then you just kind of travel along their itinerary as you can. I'm going to be doing the Fun with Cross Stitch, Safari, and Holiday Stitching across Australia. I just have to kind of get that set up because it's kind of a stitch at my own pace. Pop Culture Stitching. They have 2 annual events called the What's New. That's kind of a January event though, so it's new start. So I'm going to have at least 2 events in that, and they have one that's also I think it's an ABC, like all year ABC thing, where you have for each letter you have to pick 10 things throughout your stitching through the year and stitch on those 10 things for a minimum of like 100 stitches. I think you pick your stitch goal, but it's a minimum of 100 stitches for each item, and for each letter has 10 items, so each letter is 1,000 stitches for 10 different items, and you have to pick those out yourself. And they also do a how many stitches. So it's any project you work on for that month, you put however many stitches you stitched, and that's your total for the month. And the whole goal is to see how much stitching you can get done at the end of the year. Survival of the Stitch Village. I am on a team for that. I am on the Crossville team. I used to be on the Crossville team with Alara the Stitcher. She's here on YouTube, and I met her at one of the stitching retreats in 2023, joined her team for 2024. And I'm still going to be continuing in that group kind of more actively, because they have weekly production goals for the team. We're the brewery, so we have different production things for the town and the city, and we have different things that we have to grow, like fruits and vegetables and stuff. We have pets and stuff we have to take care of. Different drinks that we have to make with the fruits and vegetables and stuff we grow. And then every weekend they do like stitching weekend events, where we're out hunting animals, and we have to, go hunt the animals and capture them, and, everything like that. And so I'm going to be doing kind of weekly and weekend events for Survival of the Stitch Village. The Stitching Shack, they're doing a New Year, New Start for January, so I've kind of been in that. They also have other events going on. It's called the Stitching Shack Social Club, and they have other events going on. I don't know how active I'm going to be in that group, but there you have it. The Western PA Eastern Ohio group is a group of stitchers centered in the eastern section of Ohio, the western section of Pennsylvania. They're the ones that host, that have the fall and spring stitching weekends that Mom and I have been going to the last year and a half in Warren, Ohio. We went to the two this year in 2024, the spring and the fall one. And then we went to the fall one in 2023. We are going back to the spring stitching in April. It is the first weekend in April, second weekend in April, first weekend in April. In 2024, we will be going back to that one. I'm also kind of doing some of the pop-up events and some of the events in that as well. I'll be doing the Siski Stitches Acrostics and possibly the 24 hours of cross stitch acrostics. So I am cutting way down on some of the things I am doing. I'm going to be focusing more on trying to get some full coverage stitching done this year, and just some more of my own stitch at my own pace on whatever I want stitching done this year. So I'm not doing as much tracking and things like that. Yeah, so that is that. The Lost Boys sleepover for one of the groups that I am in happened in the first week in happened last week. I paid to get into the Lost Boys sleepover, mainly to get the patterns and stuff, but I did not actively participate. It was curated by the Cross Stitch Society. So the Cross Stitch Society is the group that hosted the Lost Boys sleepover. I paid to get into it midway through last year. They had a whole big event starting on the 1st through the 5th. They had hourly events and daily events and weekly events and everything like that. There were quite a few designers that participated in the Lost Boys sleepover event. I mainly did it just to get the patterns and stuff. The patterns were really cute and they were kind of Disney based. So that's the whole reason why I did it. I actually didn't really participate in any of the Discord or Zoom meetings for that. So I kind of gave you a general list of the Facebook challenge groups that I will be stitching for in 2025. So you have that. It's mainly going to be WIPGO, Magazine Monthly Challenges, International Hermit and Stitch Weekend, Full Coverage Fanatics, probably the Just Cross Stitch Ornaments Stitch Along group, Magical Stitches, Fandom Stitching, Magic Stitchdom, 24 Hours of Cross Stitch, the Crafts and Books group. I'm just doing the books, the Sane Stitchers for 2025, mainly the yearly goals, Daily Cross Stitch 25/7, Fun with Cross Stitch, Pop Culture Stitching Challenges, Survival of the Stitch Village, the Stitching Shack Social Club, Western PA Eastern Ohio group, and Siski Stitches. Those are the ones that I'm going to be kind of concentrating on. There's many more. Stitch Talk, full coverage challenges. They haven't announced any events for 2025, so I don't know if they're even doing the 100 days of Heaven and Earth designs. I mentioned last year that I am no longer actively purchasing anything from Heaven and Earth Designs, just because there were some things that happened in 2022, 2023, and into 2024 that I kind of disagreed with. So I'm no longer supporting that small business and everything like that. So one of the things I wanted to show you, I got a little bit of haul. This is the Be Stitch Me Fabric of the Month for December. It's called A Little Sassy, and I get the 40 count Verdal quarter yard. This is kind of a really pretty neutral. So this is a little bit sassy. I was kind of worried when I got this package in the mail that's going to be washed out. And that is not, there we go. That's actually a really good representation of it. It's kind of a nice neutral brown. I was kind of a little worried when I got this package in the mail. There we go. Nice neutral brown. Yep. Really nice neutral brown. There we go. But when I got the package, the outside package was kind of maimed and ripped open. And I was a little worried that my fabric was going to be messed up, but it actually wasn't. There was no damage done to the fabric. The fabric is just a little wrinkled, but anyway, this is a little sassy 40 count for doll. So that's a little bit of the haul that I got. I also got the latest issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. So I am a print subscriber, and because I'm a print subscriber, I also get the digital edition. So I have all of the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazines ever in print on digital pattern now. There's quite a few really cute things in here, especially for Punch Needle, that I'm probably going to get into punch needling this year, including this really stinking cute cat. Look at this chubby little cat. He is so stinking cute. So there's quite a few things in here. I don't know if Carolyn Zook does a flip through of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, but there's a lot of really cute patterns in here. Here is a Christmas stocking that is really cute. I don't know if I'll ever stitch that. Here are some Punch Needle ornament baubles. Really cute. This is really cute. This is by Nerdan Canber from Twin Peak Primitives. This is Winter Cottage. I really like this with the cardinals. That is really cute. We have a Roly Poly Jelly Snowman by Whitley Quimby of Sugar Maple Designs, which is really, really cute. They have a lot of really cute patterns in here. The Santa. This Santa is really cute. It's Punch Needle Santa. Kind of a primitive type Santa. He's really cute. Let's see. This moose. This moose is cute as heck. He's a Punch Needle moose. Cute as heck. This is by Teresa Vanette of Shakespeare's Peddler. Teresa Vanette is the kitten stitcher. Pray for peace, people everywhere. This one is really cute. This is called Christmas Joys by Teresa Kogut. Cute. So there's some really cute ones here in this. This is the 2024 Christmas Winter issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. I'm also hoping to get more Punch Needle done. I have not yet sat down to figure out a game plan for stitching. Here's one, Merry Christmas to All by Amanda Corbett of Starlight Stitching Co. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. That one's really cute. So there's a lot of neat Christmas stitching in here. That cat, that Punch Needle cat, is just cute as a button. Yeah. Super duper cute. Hello Winter, Jan Hicks. That is super cute too. Probably end up stitching that. I think she's doing a series. This is going to be a series. I could be wrong. But yeah, lots of really cute things. And Santa is coming to town. This is also really cute. Lots of really cute Christmas stitching in this magazine. So Got the issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. I think I might have shown this in my last video though. Got the most recent issue of the Just Cross Stitch magazine. I also get these digitally because I am a print subscriber as well. You can download the digital copies. One of the things I thought was really pretty, this is a full coverage thing called Little Cabin in the Snow. There is a Valentine, oh this one's cute, Winter Squared. Thought that was really cute. Get some winter stitching in. Perfect Pores. Yeah, I do think I showed this in my last video. There was also some, a couple of Valentine hearts. Let me see if I can find them. Here we go. This is Filled with Love, and they are full coverage Valentine hearts that I'm probably going to end up stitching so I can put into my dough bowl. I think that would be really, really cute, kind of Valentine stitching. So we do have that. Just some plans probably coming up for upcoming months. All right, so I wanted to get into some of the other progress updates. So I showed you that. The new start that I had January 2nd was this pattern by Amy Bricken called Be the Good in the World. I pulled the called for Weeks Dye Works flosses to stitch this, and I am stitching this on a piece of 40 count Be Stitch Me fabric called Lightly Salted Not Roasted. It was the July 2023 fabric of the month from Be Stitch Me, and this is all I have progress on. This is 40 count. This is where I got stitching done too. It's just the doorway and a little bit underneath the doorway here. Be the Good in the World. I'm hoping to make this a kind of a really quick start and finish. This is coming out on Baringo a little bit more, but this is on 40 count. I am stitching 1/2 full cross using the Weeks Dye Works thing. I love stitching on the Be Stitch Me 40 count Verdal. It is like stitching on butter. It is so wonderful to stitch on. But anyway, that was the new start for February 2nd. I showed you what I got. I also have worked on aquamarine, but I didn't bring it. I did show you with my phone where I was at. The next piece I've worked on so far this month is Jackalopian Tapestry by Lindy Stitches. So this is the Jackalope Rabbit. So a little story behind this. I went to college in Wyoming, grew up spending summers and stuff at my grandparents' house in Wyoming. So there is an urban legend animal coming out of the Wyoming area. I don't know if it's down in Colorado too, but in Wyoming, jackalopes are kind of an urban legend thing. So what it is a jackrabbit with antelope antlers. Antelope style antlers. A jackalope. When Lindy Stitches came out with the Jackalopian Tapestry pattern, I knew I had to get it because of my time spent in college in Wyoming, and also because of just my background in Wyoming. Where I had, so this is the progress that I have made so far on Jackalopian Tapestry. As you can see, where I filled in was more of the purple, the lavender up here, the diamonds. That is what I filled in. The whole entire border was not filled in. I still have stitching to complete in that border, but it is the kind of the border, the diamond border at the top is what I'm stitching right now. So you can see I have to fill in with some light pink and another couple of colors inside the diamonds. And then I can get to stitching on, the rest of the border. So I can't wait to get to the jackalope. He's going to be fun to stitch. I'm going to really enjoy stitching on him. But yeah, so this is progress on Jackalopian Tapestry. This is one of the squares that has so far been called for Baringo that I have not yet finished. So it is going to get a little more love for Baringo this month. So I'm really hoping to do that, to give it more love. But that is Jackalopian Tapestry by Lindy Stitches. One of the first ones I worked on for the first WIPGO square was this one called Garden Hairs. It was by the Gentle Art. I can't show you a piece for it because there is no model. This was a kind of an entry-level piece from the Gentle Art company that makes Gentle Art sampler threads. They had put out this pattern as a way to introduce their sampler threads to the cross-stitch community, and this is the piece that they came up with. So what I did here, the hearts are Smyrna crosses, the 3 hearts. So I finished this heart up here that I had started sometime last year, and I had finished that heart in Smyrna crosses and that heart in Smyrna crosses. I also had come up and stitched the bird. So inside the bird is another color where you do petty point or with over 1 stitching to fill in the bird. And then I have to do long arm stitching to fill in the tree. And then I have a button, I believe, that goes, no, I have to do the leaves on the tree. So I have a little more stitching than I originally thought. I have to do the leaves on the tree as well. This one I think is coming out because I'm hoping to, I thought maybe I could finish this in January. I'm not sure I'm going to have the gumption to finish it in January, but I'm really hoping to make this a finish because this has been kind of in my whip pile for several years and I just really need to get it done. It's probably going to turn into a pillow. I'm going to probably make it a little kind of Easter pillow or kind of like a Valentine's, March, Easter, spring pillow. So this is called Garden Hairs by the Gentle Arts. I'm going to go ahead and show you this because I don't know if you can even get this pattern anymore. Garden Hairs by the Gentle Art. The interesting thing is, so you have the stitches in the tree. You have the stitches in the tree. The symbol for the stitches in the tree, the leaves in the tree, isn't in the schematic, the legend. So I have to also pick my green color for the leaves in the tree. But anyway, yeah, these instructions were not very good when they first came out. So anyway, I'm just trying to fill this in. This is all using Gentle Art sampler threads, by the way. So yeah. Garden Hairs. So I'm hoping to finish that. This is hoping to be one of my first finishes for 2024. So that is that. And then a couple of pieces that have been called that I have not yet worked on for Baringo. Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers is one of the ones that's been called that I have not yet worked on, that I have to get working on. This is where I'm at currently. This is on a piece of, I want to say 28 count even weave fabric that I have hand dyed myself. This is where I am at. This is as wide as it is, and I've done most of my stitching over here for Pandemic, but this is as wide as it's going to be. And I am using Sulky 12 weight thread in a colorway. It's 4067. I believe the colorway is Merlot, silky 12 weight, Merlot, 4067. And it's kind of this nice variegated wine color. You can probably see it a little bit more, maybe. But it's kind of a wine color. But yeah, this is a piece of fabric that I kind of fabric dyed myself. So I'll probably be working on this sometime this week because it's already been called for 2 squares. So I have at least 200 stitches that I need to add to this for Baringo. So I will be hopefully stitching on this week and getting more progress on it to show you. But yeah, this is Long Dog Pandemic. And this was, I got this for free. Long Dog Samplers had published this for free when the pandemic started. So I had gotten this when they had it up for free. You can now purchase the pattern, but I got the pattern for it when it was free from Long Dog Samplers. This was a piece. This is on a piece of 28 count white even weave from Artiste that I personally hand dyed with Rit dye myself. It's Sulky 12 weight blendables in Merlot blush, and I started this in 2020. I didn't put the date that I started it, but I did start this pattern in 2020. So I will be making progress on that. And the other one that has been called that I have yet to work on is Let It Snow by Stitchy. I don't have the color piece. I don't have the color pattern to show you. But this is Let It Snow by Stitchy. Nice little ice skating scene. This is an Emma Congdon piece. Emma Congdon is the designer behind Stitchy. I purchased this on Etsy. And I am stitching this on a piece of 28 count blue even weave that I got from a big box craft store. This is where I'm at. So I will be probably, as it's called for Baringo, I will probably be filling in more of the town and working on the ice skating rink. So this is Let It Snow. My Yeti needle minder is I can't even think of her name. The Rebel Stitcher. I got my Yeti needle minder from the Rebel Stitcher. Colleen, who lives in Pennsylvania. So that is Let It Snow. That is my one of my next pieces coming up for Baringo that has been called already. So I will be working on Jackalopian Tapestry, Be the Good, Aquamarine, probably another time or two, and yeah, I can tell you the other one that I'll be working on. So the ones called this week that I have to catch up with, I have to work on Pandemic twice, Let It Snow twice. I thought I had Jack in here. Maybe I didn't bring Jack in here. I don't know. I don't know where he went. So Jack the Lantern was the Pumpkinhead piece, Mr. Pumpkinhead piece that I'm working on with Kelly Green from Don't Run With Scissors. We are working on that piece. See if I can find a picture of it for you. Here we go. This is a piece out of the Keepsakes calendar booklet that we are working on. It is the portrait where he's sitting there in a suit. It's a Pumpkinhead guy sitting there in a suit as a portrait, and it's a full coverage. That is where I got last. So I will also be stitching on him. he came up. And I'll also be doing stained glass Hello Kitty. So this week's stitching that I should have been stitching on is Pandemic Twice, Let It Snow Twice, or Be the Good, Jackalopian Tapestry, Stained Glass Hello Kitty, and Jack o' Lantern. We don't know what Monday's stitching is coming up, but anyway, I'm hoping to kind of get caught up with some stitching, some Baringo stitching and WIPGO stitching this weekend. So hopefully I'll be having a good stitching day on Sunday. All right, so sorry that this video was a little long, but I wanted to get some information out to you and everything like that. So I don't know how long it'll be before my next video. In February, my husband and I will be celebrating our anniversary. Like I said, I don't know when my next video is coming up. So that's why I encourage you to click the notification bell so you'll be notified when I do upload my next content. And yeah, so, and hopefully 2025 stitching will be a lot better with a lot less tracking and a lot less, I'll be able to do a lot more stitching. And hopefully do a lot more diamond painting and a lot more reading and also a lot more punch needle. So that's all I have for you tonight. Hope you're doing well. Again, keep your prayers open for the people affected by the fires in California. If you're affected by any other weather going on across the United States, we have snow. We've had a lot more snow this year right now than we've had in the last couple of years. I have no resolutions this year except to bring my blood sugar down, and I'm working on it, and it's actually going quite well. I am on a Dexcom G7 sensor. It's on this arm to watch my blood sugars, and it's been going really, really well. My blood sugars have been coming down quite a lot, and I'm really happy. So I'm doing that, and I'm also losing a little bit of weight. I don't know if you can kind of tell yet or not. I haven't really looked into a mirror and compared to the last video or two, but I know I've lost 10 to 12 pounds since Thanksgiving. So it's been a good journey, and I'm hoping to lose about 50 more pounds before the end of the year. That is the goal. Lots of stuff coming up. Mom and I have the spring stitch-in retreat up in Warren, Ohio in April. We are also going to Camp Goddess Stitch, assuming that it does not conflict with some of the other events we have going on this year. We're also doing the Stitching in the Springs retreat in the fall. Kat Jones from Valkyrie Stitchworks is not doing a spring retreat, so we are not going to Yellow Springs in the spring. She's not doing a spring retreat this year. She's only doing the fall retreat because she is traveling in the spring and doesn't have enough time to plan and organize the stitching retreat. So we are going, Mom and I are doing the spring stitch-in Warren, Ohio. We're doing Camp Goddess Stitch, hopefully, and the 2 fall retreats, the fall stitch-in back up in Warren and the Stitching in the Springs retreat with Kat Jones at the Mills Park Hotel in Yellow Springs. So that is what we have planned and everything like that. So that's what I have for you. Welcome to 2025. Hopefully you are getting some stitching in. I am planning on recording a whip parade. You've seen a couple of my whips. I hopefully will be doing a 2025 whip parade. I did one for 2024 that was 3 parts long. I have about 85 whips to show you, and I'm probably going to be having quite a few more because I'm planning some more new starts for this year. Thank you very much for stopping by. Hopefully you've gotten something here. Just remember that you matter, you're loved, somebody cares, you're important, you belong, and you have a place here if nobody in your current environment is accepting of you as a person. We have a lot going on. January 20th is going to be a tough day for America. and kind of really worried about what's going to happen afterwards. So hopefully we can all get through this together. Let's make this world, let's make this country, let's make the next 4 years as best as we can, despite what's happening on January 20th here in America, because it's not going to be pretty the next 4 years, not at all. And anyway, so let's try and hold each other up and be there for each other, and let's pull each other through, and let's just both keep our heads up and keep moving forward, because that's really what we got to do for us, for ourselves, and for this country and the world in general. So let's just be there for each other and hold each other up and be each other's rock. All right, guys, let's do this. We got it. We can go forward. Let's go forward together and be there for each other, because we're family. All right, take care, everybody. We'll see you soon, hopefully.